I tell you what, let's have a chat to Paul Dennett. He had a chat to him a few hours ago. He'd been stuck for about 48 hours. We think he's got on a plane. We think. But we had a chat to him just before he got on the plane, and I asked him I'd said to him, I could hear the airport behind him. I just wanted to know how long he'd been stuck there.
I've been in Hong Kong now for 2 days. I arrived on Monday with the intention of spending 4 hours here. I'd flown in from Paris, and I was going to fly straight back on the first available flight, straight back to Sydney. That flight was eventually cancelled, and I emerged into the protest. It was an amazing experience and an eye-opening experience. And then yesterday, I thought that it was going to be okay, and I was just on the verge of checking in when they came around and said immigration had been shut by the protesters, and that one never eventuated either. But today, it's been very smooth, and I think I'm a 99% chance of flying out today. When
you said it was eye-opening, watching the protesters, seeing them, what do you mean?
I think just firstly the sheer volume of people, because I wasn't expecting this. I'd known that there were some issues in Hong Kong, but I didn't realise that it was coming to a head. And so when I walked out of the gates and heard the chanting and saw all the people, I initially didn't grasp the scale of it either. Thought, I'll just have to walk a little bit and then this will dissipate. And as I walked, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. They were all very polite. Everything I saw, they were polite. They were very determined. They had the steely look in their eye. And it became very, very difficult to move at any pace at all. It was taking a minute to move maybe 10 metres, and climbing up a couple of flights of stairs, which I needed to do, that took probably 4 minutes. And the atmosphere was quite charged, lots of chanting, but to me it always seemed respectful.
Were you ever worried?
Briefly, I was worried at one point when I was changing staircases, and it was a fairly small area, and I thought to myself, it's good that these people are well behaved, because if everyone was here and wasn't well behaved, this could become a bit nasty, and there could be a sort of a feeling of a bit of a crush. It never got anywhere near that, but that was the first time I thought this is a little bit on the edge of being scary. It was probably a little bit scary as well when they cancelled the flight, and I was suddenly thinking, and they sort of said to me, you should leave the airport because it could get dangerous. And I was bleary-eyed from flying all the way from Paris, and I was kind of expecting this. So it was a little bit concerning, but I managed to get a hotel and it was fine. And from then on, no, there's certainly been no fear since then.
Can you understand the Aussies who've made international headlines? Few of them have sort of got angry at the protesters. One of them's even lectured the protesters, told them they were doing the wrong thing. Do you understand that response?
Well, I'm in the lucky position that I don't have anything pressing to go back to. I've got a couple of days of nothing on, so I can just sort of say I'm quite calm about it all. But if I had to be at 9 a.m. at my desk, I'd be possibly a bit concerned. But I just can't but admire the protesters. They're all so young. All of them seem like they're 20. And if knowing what they could be confronted with, I don't think I'd have the courage to do that now at my age. And I'm 41. I certainly wouldn't have had the courage to do it when I was 20.
Did you speak to any of the protesters?
No. Plenty of them were proffering leaflets and brochures and eager to try to engage. And on that first day, as I said, I was a little bit zonked. Not only had I come from Paris, I'd actually caught the train from Cologne in Germany to Paris. So I'd already been on the go for about 20 hours. And as I said, with the courage that they've shown, it probably shows up my lack of courage that I didn't even really want to. I just wanted to obey the rules and look straight ahead. And also I was focused on getting towards my flight if possible. So I thought, I don't want to engage with them and suddenly bring on the wrath of police or anything like that, which I don't think would have happened. But I was just focused on trying to get the job done.
When I see the pictures of passengers interacting with the protesters, all I think of is the fact that people in Hong Kong are never going to be able to vote in an election ever again in their lives. And the people who are getting angry at them can basically take it or leave it, whether or not they vote. I just wonder does any of that sort of stuff go through your mind when you're looking at the protesters?
Oh, yeah, certainly the feeling that they have a city here that is wonderful and vibrant and has a regrettably uncertain future, and that they then also have that uncertain future too. And we do have it rather easy in Australia, and we can take things for granted. So, yeah, those things do go through my mind.
What if you ended up being there stuck in the airport for a week? Do you reckon you'd still be sympathetic?
I'd like to think I would be. So at this stage, that's not going to happen. So I can say, in theory, yes, I'd still be sympathetic, but in the reality of it, maybe I'd start to get a bit grumpy. I don't know.
Paul, thank you. Good luck. I hope you get on a plane this afternoon. Thanks for talking to us.
Cheers, my pleasure.
And we think he got on the plane because we can't contact him. So I'm pretty sure he did get on that plane.